and girls, children of all ages, fellow pandemic travelers. This is Seattle Pandemic Shutdown, day 60, I believe. Coming out of the weekend. It felt like a long weekend. I don't know, it's kind of nice. Got a lot of stuff done around the house. Got a bidet installed and had my christening, or my bidet baptism this morning, and yeah, I think we're onto something with this bidet thing. Anyways, so we are going into phase 1, according to Governor Inslee's Twitter account today. And phase 1, of course, is a gradual reopening of things. More services are allowed, or are not restricted to be shut down. Like construction work, not like public construction, but private construction. So, building offices and houses and all that kind of stuff. There was contractors working on the house across the street from mine, though, like this whole time. Like they restored a whole house during this pandemic. It was interesting to watch. But yeah, so phase 1. More people are going to say, hey, I'm going to go out and go do stuff, which is kind of, what are you people doing? Why are you going 45 miles an hour on the freeway? I mean, come on. So we're going to start to open things up. People will probably get a little ahead of themselves and, want to throw giant backyard barbecues and stuff, and that's not quite, we're not there yet. You can probably get in trouble with, I don't know, some Karen will snitch on you, and people will get arrested or in trouble. I don't know about Washington so far. I don't know if we've really arrested anybody, but it's probably happened. We just don't really hear about it. Fines. Allegedly there were fines for, breaking quarantine or whatever. But as we come out of this thing, we probably will see a spike in cases. People will also probably get tested more because they're going to go, well, okay, did I have it? Do I have it? We need that antibody testing to really start to get a picture of the actual scale of this whole thing, because we don't really know, because a lot of people probably got a little bit sick and were fine, and then, all these other people die. So we probably will see an uptick once people start going out and moving around more. But just because it goes up a little bit doesn't mean that the deaths are going to spike. And even if the deaths spike, we may just have to live with it if we're not going to live in a shambles economy that causes more harm than the cure does, than the quarantine does. I was warning people about meat shortages, like a week or two ago. And now we got meat shortages. At least the New York Post was reporting that today. I just saw the tweet. I didn't read the article. And again, it's not going to be everywhere. There's no meat. Like, you got regional suppliers. Then there's allegedly like cold storage that we can crack into. People will start buying from, you can probably get meats at farmers markets and stuff, but they're going to be from local people. Probably, it'll be fine to eat. It's just a matter of how much your local like kind of agriculture, agri industry can provide. And if restaurants want to start opening back up, then you're going to be competing with them in those kind of places to buy those kinds of bulk meats and whatnot. I don't really know what I'm talking about. I'm just kind of thinking out loud. Like, what's it going to look like? What's going to happen? Well, I mean, the more people moving around means more of the activities that we did before in the before time, right? So some stuff will start to come back. I don't know, because it's like a restaurant, A couple of my favorite restaurants have apparently ridden this thing out, and they're still working. They're still putting out food for curbside and whatnot. So they're going to try to start opening, but with limited capacity. I forget if that's phase 1. I don't think that's phase 1. I think that's actually phase 2. But some businesses, retail, for example, retail can open with restrictions. You have to try to, as the business owner, I don't know how you do this, you have to put your stickers on the floor and all that stuff. Put up the sneeze guards around your employees if they're, registered workers, whatever. But retail can open with, again, restrictions. So, I don't think we're back to Starbucks yet, but you can, you can get in to buy clothes and whatnot. I suppose that means Best Buy is back open. But again, this is one of these things like we were at, where were we at? Oh, Home Depot. Yeah, we went to Home Depot and, we had to queue up. And they didn't require masks like Costco did, but they had a counter, and the guy at the front was counting the number of people that were in and out of the store so that they kept the total at some whatever magic number they were, target number they were aiming for, to effectively ensure people could effectively social distance, if that makes sense. So, yeah. So getting used to the pandemic life is one thing. It's going to be interesting to go back to normal. And I think we'll all have a great appreciation for the normalcy we didn't know that we were taking for granted. I mean, I've said it before. I want to go to Umi Sake House. I'm going to slide up to that bar and I want to start eating sushi rolls again. And I mean, I might consider buying from them just for curbside, just, to help out the local business. But I want things to be back to normal as much as everybody else. And God, these numbers. I mean, I love that everybody again has become an epidemiologist and a statistician and a virologist, like I do it too, I pretend that I know what's going to happen and here's how it's going to play out. And in some instances, I've been right about, listening to other people warn about the meat shortage and looking at stories about, disruptions in production at, slaughterhouses and stockyards and whatnot. But that was, pay attention, pay attention to these things. And then you don't get got because there's another angle to this thing, there's yet another factor, right? Like, how is the oil industry doing now that the crude prices crashed? Are people still in business? Like, how is that ripple effect going to go out across all the other industries, right? There are people who know some of these elements, but putting them all together and having it all be caused by this damn little microbe. This little bastard is just a little tiny thing. Soap kills it, but it's flying around in the air killing everybody. How infuriating is that? I'd almost rather it was like some kind of magical curse or something. Because then we could go find the spell and undo it or whatever. This is just freaking little tiny monster is everywhere. And it's gonna try to kill you. Anyways. I don't know. I think that's about it. We're entering phase 1. Gonna start seeing a lot more people out. Think about all the things that you needed to do that you couldn't. Those things are now going to get surged, like they're going to get rushed, right? Non-emergency surgeries are back on, for example. So people who were sitting there waiting with maybe a cavity or they need a root canal, I don't know if those were considered essential. Various surgeries, they've all been put off, and now everyone's going to want to rush back and get their appointments. So your clinic that you might go to, your general practitioners are probably going to be slammed until the level of service is covered for everything that everyone needs, Think about it. Try to think ahead and, take care of yourself and your network of peeps. All right, it's Monday. That's enough for me. Remember, I go out so you don't have to.